Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Talking Time at a Six. Today we got a special guest here, breadwinner Ruger, and we're gonna have a special interview. It's his first interview. I'm gonna let him introduce himself and let you guys know where he was born and brought up and born and raised. What's up, brother?
What's up, my brother? I appreciate you first and foremost, for taking the
Respect.
time and doing the interview.
Sure, for
I was
sure,
hyped for this one because it's like my first interview, so it
sure.
should be a good one.
I appreciate you coming on this platform for your first one. No, you're not
Pleasure's mine.
new to YouTube, but for interview wise,
Right.
yes.
So, so Breadwinner Ruger. I'm from um, right now, Youngstown, but growing up, I used to grow up in a small town called Camel, and it's really like a couple minutes away from Youngstown. Where I was in Camel is technically like the east side of Youngstown, so I always, pretty much lived in Youngstown.
Okay, nice. So, what was the childhood like growing up in Youngstown?
Uh, well, to start it off, like this is how I think I became the way I did growing up, cause so I would have a bunch of cousins that were, a lot older than me, but like my sister's age. So every weekend, like pretty much every day, really, it would be like a party at my house because my cousins, my mom's nephews, they would all kick it and get in trouble. So my house was the party house. Everybody would come there, they would drink, listen to music, smoke, and how one, and I would look up to these people, who my sisters and my cousins will bring around. And for some reason they were, connected with the hood dudes and shit like that. And so like the Camel, like in Camel, we had like a projects and shit like that. So everybody from there, my family was cool with like everybody, hood people you would say. So that's who I grew up like, wanting to be like these drug dealers, these, cats with money, cars, all that. So that's pretty much kind of what grew me into the person I am today.
Yeah, I can relate to that, man. Seeing the older cousins and stuff like that growing up, I can relate a lot to that. I'm a similar thing, similar story. I've seen all my older cousins doing that sort of thing, and then you see that, your dad is, my dad was the oldest, so he had his little sisters had kids before him. So my my dad's little sister's kids are my older cousins, right?
Right.
So yeah, I can definitely relate.
And that was like, how kids will have like an idol or somebody they look up to or want to be like. That would be me, but to these drug dealers, I see, obviously as a kid, you like money, you like, you know, the
Yep.
cars, the jewelry, everything that comes with that kind of lifestyle. So from when I was younger, that's what I always, I idolized that. And,
Right.
to me, it was cool, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And then the music, you probably listened to the same music I did, rap music, and then mixture between thinking that's cool and listening to those lyrics. It's like you automatically think this is the cool thing to do, the right thing to do, you know.
Right,
'Cause you're hearing
right,
all this music, but meanwhile, we find out all these years later, a lot of these cats aren't even living like that. They're just rapping this stuff and not even living like that. So we're hearing it and we're thinking they're really doing that when we're young. And we start doing that.
right. Because we believe anything,
Right.
like, oh, no, he did it, he said it.
Yeah.
So music played a big influence on my life, still to this day. I used to rap back in the day and shit like that. I think all of us, kind of went through
Yeah.
that stage, but I was doing that too because it's just what you see growing up, what you're around. Um,
I remember
where
the other day you said something about drinking. That's what would happen. We'd be all at parties back in the day. You start drinking with your buddies and stuff, and all of a sudden it kicks off a freestyle. That's where a lot
I,
of crazy freestyles would come from. You know what I mean? You write drunk and lit and drunk and high. Smoking bongs with your homies or smoking blunts, whatever your crew is into. And then next thing you know, you guys are just rapping. It was a
right out of
natural thing.
nowhere, bro, it just
Yeah,
happens, like
yeah,
you said.
yeah, exactly, for sure. So I know So in schools and stuff like that, did you get like kicked out of school, any elementary school, suspended, kicked out, anything like that?
No, I mean, I got, suspended for like fighting back in the day, but like I wouldn't count that as like, towards my record now. It was just, younger days fighting. Some of it may not even, we had this thing where we would like, it's called like mug you in your face. So that was real big. It wasn't really fighting. It was
Okay.
like, I mugged this cat, whatever. So it was like that in like the elementary years, the middle school years. I remember in middle school one year, my whole middle school, I got in a fight once every year just to get, 4 days out of school. So
Okay.
it was like kind of pick a fight type shit and get
Yeah.
a little vacation.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, man. In school, it was like if you were around, not the right people, and you didn't know certain people or whatever. I seen dudes go up to dudes and take their hats and all kinds of stuff, man. All kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and especially like I know
It
you
didn't happen to
oh,
me trying to hang out with 21-year-olds when I'm 12, 13, you know what I mean? Trying to be cool with 20-year-olds and be down with all the drug dealers. And who's this little 12-year-old kid? You got a brand new hat? Give me that shit. What are you going to do? Fight 12 older homies? You know what I
hell
mean?
yeah.
So, little things happened to me when I was growing up, and I was like, damn, is that what I'm supposed to do? So then I just go out and start robbing dudes. And that's just
Yeah, I
how it was.
remember I wasn't ever like, real big in the like doing crazy shit like that. Like just like us all, I did my share of like, crazy dumb shit when I was younger, but it was never nothing, severe. It was more like on some having fun type of shit.
Okay.
Um, but one thing about me is, like why I got like a clean record, it's because I would see, people around me doing this, going to jail for this long. Um, One of my dudes, Nico, who was like my best friend, and he just got out from like 5 or 6 years. But even before, he'd be getting in trouble, and I'd be like, I kind of stay away. I learned from his mistakes, kind of.
I'll word it.
So I tend to learn from other people's mistakes, and I never really with like breaking in cribs and shit like that. I never really, that was never me. I just hustle, and we could talk about that if you want to, hostile.
Okay.
Like, so it started in high school,
Okay.
and I never got kicked out of high school, but I like failed a couple classes, trying to be cool, the class clown and whatnot. So um, I started like smoking in middle school, really. But towards high school, I never took it serious. I got more into selling weed, thinking I'm doing something with my $10 bags and shit like that. Um, but in school, I just couldn't graduate. I needed too much. So I'm like, hit my mom up in school, like I need to get out of here, whatever. And I just dropped out and I always would go to get my GED, but I would always get a job and then I can't take off. So
Yeah.
I still need to get my GED though, for sure.
Okay.
But that's where the selling
That's where
shit.
the name came from. Breadwinner.
Right. So,
Okay.
and selling, like, I started getting heavy into it, like years later, I will always sell weed. Everybody did.
Yeah.
But it didn't get till my later years, probably 8 years ago, really, is when I first started really, selling the boy, the girl, pills, everything, one stop shop. But I told you before, and we talked about it, and my girl really, when I met my girl was when I got out of the game. She
Right.
had a daughter. I love my girl. I was, putting all my effort and time into that. And the the night I met my girl was like the second or third time we were going to chill. And my dude, who's locked up now, Mike Williams, but um, we were supposed to go to Columbus to re up and go to a strip club, and he had some shit lined up out there. But I just had met my girl. I'm like, I'm trying to chill with, I'm trying to chill with this babe, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
a couple hours later, I get the call that he got picked up with the boy, everything. So
Oh no.
in a way, if I wouldn't have met my girl, I could have probably been in a jam, you know.
For sure.
Who's to say, but that's how I look at it. So
Yeah. You know, people when they meet their loved one, it does play a big role in wanting them to, get out of it because you have something worth it. Before when you're just by yourself, you're like, what do I don't care. Like you don't have nothing to really think about, right? But once you got a girl like that you're really into, it's like shit, yo. You don't want to be in there and her out here. You know what I mean?
right,
That's the worst. That's even worse time than I could imagine, like, you know what I mean? I
hell yeah,
definitely want to be doing the time, now. That's for sure. I'm glad that I did all that when I was younger and get that out of my system. You know what I mean? So
right.
I can live a normal life now and stuff. But yeah,
And I
definitely
see
what I
you guys look happy, you guys look, in love, and I love that. So salute
yeah,
to you guys.
you. Yeah, and I was researching you, for the interview. You look like a great dude, man, with your family and stuff. You got lots of. I think is it 3 kids?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Me and my girl have two together, and she
Okay.
had a daughter before me, but I don't try to be her dad, but that's my daughter.
Yeah. You're the main male in the home. You know what I mean? So, you're the positive role model, and I see that you're a positive role model. You're coaching basketball. You're doing a lot of things, man, and you're a big role model out there. And I can say, a lot of people should look up to you because of the things you're doing. You know what I mean? Just because you haven't been into prison doesn't mean anything, bro. That means that you were smart. You know what I mean? It means that you changed your ways quick and caught on to, you don't want to do that shit. It's not, it doesn't make you more tougher or, it's just a waste of life, bro. And, you caught on a different way, man. You're hustling, and my good couple of good friends of mine, like my one good friend Jay, he's passed now, but he never had a record ever. And one time when it was either like he's gonna go to jail for his first time or me go to jail, I had already been in jail like 4 or 5 times. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just take the rap for this shit. You know what I mean? And
Right.
when I go in there, he had bad diabetes. So I was like, shit, yo, he'll end up having a seizure in there or something. And yeah, so I know what you mean. So there's a lot of good dudes out there that they're right there alongside, and they're doing the same thing. That they just don't get caught.
Right.
Right? It's all
And
good.
that's another thing. The dude Mike, who I was telling you, who I used to hustle with, he been in jail. He just got out of jail for like a year or whatever before he just went back. But his record and my record is clean. I would have probably took that. You know what I mean? And I ain't I don't have to say it to like look away, but I really would have because I would have got a slap on the wrist compared to what he would get. You know what I mean? So that's why I say I'd be in jail if, me and my girl never met.
Right.
So that's a good dude though,
For sure.
thinking about your dude and, not being in jail. And that's some real shit.
For sure. For sure.
Stand up.
And you know what karma is, bro? There was another dude in the crew, this guy named Scotia that we roll with, and he actually did the same thing for me one time. It came back around, and like they were grilling him heavy and shit. Like, yo, we know it was such and such. Just give us the name. We know it was such and such. Ray, Ray, Ray. And he's like, I don't know who that is. And, you know, so,
Right.
it's karma, bro. You know what I mean? But so basically I see that you're like right into the Jordans. I seen that you got you doing a little reselling hustling thing going on here. You make anything from that? Doing something there?
That's a good question, bro. I'm glad you brought that up. So it all started during the quarantine.
Okay.
So, me and my girl, I think my girl does her own like lashes. She got her own business like with that. So it always motivated me to, I'm tired of working for, the man. So
Hear you.
I would try to find my way, my niche and, side hustle life, and so I picked up shoes.
Nice.
Um, at the quarantine time a few years ago, I was hitting every release. Like you'd make like $100, 120 every time. So lately it's not like that. So I'm in the process of moving right now. So
Okay.
I don't really have a spot where I set up. Like,
Right.
I just put like the little Ruger picture and the Nike picture up there in my girl lash room.
Okay.
So I'm waiting to move, but all my shoes now are just like inventory. So
Right.
whenever I do move, get my own little room, is where I'm put up all my shoes and all that shit. But I don't really sell now. I just collect. I probably got like 20 pair. But don't get me wrong, I got so many to where you can only wear so many. So I
Right.
would sell 2 pair for 1 pair that's worth, you know, 700, whatever. Prime example, today I'm about to sell 2 pair of shoes for 250 each, buy a pair that's 500.
Okay.
So, I'm kind of minimizing, but the
Yeah.
shoes that I'm keeping are the higher ones.
Nice. And I seen your good you bought your, was it your niece a pair the other not long ago.
My who did I buy? No, I think I made a video. I think I might have
Yeah,
deleted
you
it though. I like gave my niece
yeah.
because and this is a good topic too. I gave my niece the pair. I just went through mine, and I just gave her a sweet one. She goes to Camel, so they're black and red. So I
Oh,
had a pair of red fives, whatever. Because her mom was in jail at the time. Her
okay.
father is the dude Mike I was telling you about. So so she was doing a lot of time, my nieces where both of their parents were in jail. And my mom, man, I ain't gonna lie. I salute to my mom because she in her 60s, you know what I mean? And she, taking care of both of her kids. Well now she has four, an infant, a 6-year old, a 16-year old, and a 14-year old. And my mom takes care of all of them. My sister went back to jail, I think it was last year, and she had a baby in jail. And, my mom stepped up, bro, so nothing happened to the baby with services type shit like that.
Salute to your mom, bro. For real.
So not only does it affect you, like jail, but I'm from another point of view where like I see, my sister
Yeah.
getting locked up. It don't affect
That's
her. It affects her, but the kids, my mom.
yep.
So when you go to jail, it don't affect only you. It affects
Exactly.
your family, everybody around you. So that's like a part of
Yep.
it that people don't really talk about.
And especially with the moms, the mothers are always going to worry the most about their son or whatever, right? You know, so like I must have put my mom through so much stress over the years, always locked up. You know what I mean? She's always not hearing from me, not knowing if I'm all right, stuff like that, right? So when I'm in there, I don't like to call home. I don't like to even talk to people on the streets. You know what I mean? So I'll
How
go
was
years
that?
without hearing from me, man.
How was that? Like I know, like, it hurts not being able
You
to,
gotta sometimes you just gotta block it out. You know what I mean? Because like it
and that's
sometimes it
hard.
gets to the point where the more you're talking to people at home and finding out things that are happening, going wrong or this or that, it's making it worse on you because you can't do nothing to help. You can't really
Right.
do anything anyways. So I'd rather just not even know about it, right?
Yeah,
It's
that's
to that
that's
point where it's like unless it's to do with something business that you need to speak to people about, it's like there's no point.
I couldn't even imagine being in jail, bro. The one time, cause I did a little ass, we can talk about this. I got charged with, at first it was burglary, and what number I don't really even know all
Is
that
it a
shit. But
YO thing or no?
no, I think I was 20. I know I was over 18. I
Okay.
think I might have been 20 or maybe over, but like I can talk about it now because the case is, dismissed and everything and charges dropped. But my sister and this neighbor dude were like doing some shady shit where the person next door to me, they were like living in Florida. So they like went in there taking like dumb shit like deep freezers and selling like whatever they had in the crib, bro. So I get off a basketball game in a men's league. And I see my nieces outside, so I go back there like, what the fuck? I knew what they was doing, and I was in the back because they was trying to get this deep freezer out, bruh. And it was a little ass hallway, and they couldn't get it. And I was looking at them, really clowning them for it. And they were like, "Yo, I'll give you $100, this and that." And I'm like, "Hell nah, my little ass ain't doing that shit." So, but our they driveways kind of combined, theirs and mine.
Right.
So I was in their yard. So if you were the cops coming, you would. I'm one of them.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, all right, I'm out, whatever. Like I felt weird, and bro, I turned around and the cops had a gun to my head. Like if you run, I'ma shoot. The first instinct I had was to run. I don't know why, but then I thought to myself, like I didn't do anything. Like why would I run? So, but bro, I was there. It was all bad for me. I forget what they were trying to give me, bro. I had a bullshit lawyer, but it was like 2 to 4 or 2 to 6 years, something in those lines. Um, and bro, all they wanted to know was who kicked in the door. Like I knew who did it. Everyone knew who did it, but no one said anything. So, I've been in a position where, all you got to do is say a name and,
Right.
so
So if the dude that did kick the door would have just said it was I kicked the door type shit, then all two of you might have got let go. You
yeah,
know,
he said,
sometimes it sucks when the person won't just take the shit for their own self because why all three you gotta go down for the one thing, right? Sometimes it's easier just to take your own shit and let your homies go. You gotta know when to do that. You know what I mean?
right, like if I had some shit, like there been a time when I was younger in a car, and it was young, I was under 18, and we went to a party, you know what I'm saying? And even back in the day, I had like Zans, and I would sell Zans. So even this was like in high school still. So I got caught with like 20 or 18 Xannies or something like that, bars. And before I could even say like they're mine, they were like, both of your friends said it was yours. So they could be lying, but
Oh,
I was like,
shit.
damn, that's fucked up because
Yeah.
I would have admitted to it anyway. They're
Right.
mine.
Yeah. It's just
I'm
fucked
not
up
like,
that you see how fast they're like
bro, I was still asleep on the Zans, and I woke up and like they were like, yo, they're saying this is yours. I'm like,
crazy.
but we were younger, and it was mine. But it was like, damn, y'all told on me real quick
Yeah.
for
I
some
hear you.
stupid shit.
Yeah. It's crazy.
But I thought I was about to get jumped though, because when I got locked up, this is how fucked up it was. My sister was putting the shit on Facebook that she was selling on the marketplace.
Oh shoot.
So some dudes thinking that they're just about to come buy a deep freezer or some shit, and it was other shit, but I just remember them trying to get up a deep freezer,
Right.
and but it was two dudes, two hood ass dudes I never seen today in my life. So they lock all three of us up. The girl that drove the van to pick up the shit, she got locked up, towed her car, um, and we're on our way to the county, and we were in like a big ass. It was like a big ass cell, circular cell in
Okay.
Mahoning County, and it was just us three.
Right.
And they were, mad, like they didn't do anything. Neither did I, but they're just coming to buy some shit, not
Oh,
knowing it's stolen and you're
right.
trespassing. So they're like, oh, somebody about to get their ass beat for this. And it's my sister that, got us all in the shit. So, I'm ready. I'm like, they about to J me, it's whatever though. Like, but we kind of got into it a little bit because I'm like, why you keep saying that? Like I'm in here with you. So what the fuck?
Right.
But nothing happened. Shit, we got out. One of the dudes bonded out. Um, I couldn't bond out until the thing though, and then I bonded out, but I ain't get nothing. They told the lady she had to if she came back to court, she could file charges, press whatever, but she told them she wasn't coming back from Florida, so
Okay.
everything got dropped.
So I know you got your life way turned around since all that stuff. So I kind of want to speak on what happened with the coaching. How did that all start and come about? The basketball coaching.
I love your questions, bro. I fucking love your questions. All right. So with um my stepdaughter, my oldest daughter, she had basketball tryouts, and you could watch and see because they were more like games. Like it wasn't like a practice they would play, 5-on-5. They would just pick, how many girls are there. And we were all sitting on the sidelines. And there was this one dude, and I knew he was like, I thought he was like the coach, but he was, I thought more principal or something. And he was asking people, but he asked someone next to me, and they said like, no, whatever. And he just asked me. And a couple years prior, I tried to, for Camel, um, I tried to apply for like that, but I didn't graduate. So I don't know how that would work, but I never heard nothing back from Camel. And then Struthers, which is like Camel's rival for real. Like I hated Struthers, bro, growing up in Camel. But my daughter went to Struthers, so they they said they didn't have a coach and they wouldn't be able to have a team without, a coach. So I'm like, can I do it? And, talk to him for a little bit and had the first practice like a few days later.
Nice.
And I always play basketball. Like that was my when I was younger, like what did I want to be when I grew up? It was an NBA player because I like my life was ball. I would get out of school, all my friends would just, every day, all day, basketball, football. So I wanted to be an NBA player, bro. But I told you this was around the time where I started selling weed, trying to be, the cool dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm missing out on money while I'm at practice.
Yeah.
And they not really giving me a chance anyway. So, just excuses to, give it up. And
Plus,
that's my one regret.
it's expensive as hell too.
Right. But that's my biggest regret, bro, is not taking basketball serious because I really feel like I could have been got far with it, for sure. But so that's why I want to be like I never had nobody when I was growing up to like, you know, push me or, motivate me, shit like that. So I want to be somebody to these kids that I never had growing up. Just like a motivator,
Nice. Steer them in the right direction. I hear you, man.
and build their confidence for real. Because in
That's what I
life,
would love
everything
to.
is confidence. And I was never confident growing up because I was always too small. I was too, too short. I was like the odd kid, the only white dude. And, my confidence was just fucked up. But so that's what I try to build kids' confidence. Because not even in basketball or I coach baseball as well, but just in life, you take those things and you apply it to your life. So
So, what's the baseball? Is that also a team for your daughter?
yeah, so my all of my nieces play, and my oldest daughter she plays, but they already had like 6 coaches. So, but for t-ball, for my middle child, um, uh, the dude who is the coach of the baseball of my oldest daughter, he's like the main dude for the baseball, and his daughter played on my basketball team. So he already liked me as a coach. So same shit. Like we don't got nobody. I don't know if we could have, a team without a coach. So I was like, shit, I'll do it. I didn't want to. Like I wanted to take a break, and enjoy the game from the sideline with my girl. But
You know what, man?
I couldn't say no
We would
though.
have been able to do it without you, man. So you're doing a big thing right there, bro. So I got another good one for you. What made you decide to start the YouTube Streets podcast, bro?
Well, I didn't start like this. How I got into it. So at first, I was just doing 2K and shorts. My voice a little raspy. My bad.
Okay, it's okay.
But I would just do shorts on 2K, and I still do them because I be getting subs off them, like more than like anything. But I swear I was one of the first cats that was pushing shorts because it was right when it got, big.
Right.
Um, and my daughter, it was just really to get 1,000 subs because my daughter, like, we got her a camera one Christmas and shit for her to do a channel, but she thought it was like impossible to get 1,000 subs. So I was like, bet I do it. So that's kind of like how I started. But at work, bro, I would watch the prison genre like Death, Jay Williams,
Yeah.
Big Lance, you got Rick, um, AZ, all of them were like the big YouTubers like that I watch.
Right.
So um it was Allen, bro. Allen when he was going at Domi all them times. You
Okay.
remember that shit? Well,
Okay.
around all this shit was going on, and I ain't even gonna front. I'm gonna keep it a bean with you, bro. My first video I made was kind of like you could say it was cloud chasing because I seen all these videos about, Domi from Allen. And Allen is like, I ain't gonna front. Like people was like not scared of him, but he was like the big bad wolf or the big good wolf, if you will.
Right. Right.
So the white knight they called him or some shit. But so it was like, trying to bully the bully. Like that would get seen, I was just trying to be seen,
Right.
bro. And
Okay.
not thinking like, I didn't even know who I wanted to see it, but I'm just like,
Right.
fuck it. I was in that mood. And I was a dude like that anyway. Like I would never fight nobody my size or it'd be a little bigger because you're supposed to lose then. So
Right.
it's no worries.
Yeah.
But um so I made a video about Allen and I was kind of talking shit, being disrespectful for real, but Allen, that's my dude, I fuck with Allen heavy now. We got we talked off because this motherfucker hit me up, bro. He I deleted my video, I didn't know Jay Williams said he seen that video. So that was the first video I ever made. Like one of the people I look up to, and Jay said he seen my shit, and that was pretty
Yeah.
dope. But
Right. Right.
um, so I made the video about Allen. He kind of made a video with my shit and the Domi shit. Didn't really talk shit back to me. And then one day, bro, I deleted the video and he fucking messaged me on my 2K short. Like, oh, I'm gonna come to a gym in Ohio and we're gonna ball or like beat your ass and shit. So I'm like, how the fuck this cat know? But my IG it say Youngstown, Ohio. Everything on me say Youngstown, Ohio. So
Right.
um I found him on Instagram. I'm like, I'm not a person that likes to keep shit going. If it's to that point, which I made the video, so
Right.
I'm clearly, instigating and fuel to the fire. So we just talk, I'm like, what the fuck going on? Like, how we gonna handle this? Like, and we just talk like men, bro. And I was like, shit, we can still box, like, but I mean, he a bigger dude, but that's my dude though. We talk like men. But it was really to be seen though. That's how I made my first video. And then New Age like commented and subbed and all that. And this was still in my first 100 subs probably. I remember, I think it might have been a Memorial Day a couple years ago or a year ago that I
Okay.
was telling all my family members like sub to my channel so I can get 50 subs and go live. And
Right.
like, I
Right.
think last year was the year I started.
Okay.
And to
Sweet.
be honest, it might have been today for real.
Oh, sweet. So yeah, and then New Age Plug came, and then they ended up keeping it
Oh yeah,
going.
him and Ronnie Blue Eyes. Yeah, that I'm glad you continue with that. Him and Ronnie Blue Eyes. He was like, "Yo, I got this dude Ronnie Blue Eyes, and we went like see why you made the video type shit.
Nice.
So we like it was short. And then he hit me up after and was like, I want to do the podcast, like the YouTube streets, this and that. I don't even think it was the YouTube streets at first, but
Because
it eventually became the YouTube streets.
you know, the sick name. You came up with that, right? Originally?
Nah, I
No?
think Milk came up with it, and they like
Okay.
new age like brought it to me as that.
Okay.
So yeah, I didn't have.
Okay. So he was like, you guys had this sort of podcast going on with no name, and then Mill kind of like called it the the YouTube streets or something, and then you guys ran with that.
I I'm not exactly sure for real, so I don't want to
Okay.
say yeah or no and be lying,
Okay. We'll figure it out.
But new age, yeah, we're gonna get to the bottom of that. But I think it has something to do with Milk talking about
Okay.
like the YouTube streets. I don't know if it was us or just in general.
And originally it was called what? New Age Plug?
I don't know what it was called.
Okay,
Nothing,
we'll
bro.
figure it
I
out.
don't think we just went live.
All right. Okay.
I think we just went live. No name, bro.
I
Unknown.
hear you. Yeah. I know, man. Like, I honestly, the first time when I went on there on Doc TV 813, shout out to him. That's the first time I went on there, and it was like I didn't even have a channel yet. I had only put a song out, like, and it didn't even have a music video. It was just like a song. I had made
Right.
made my own beat, and it was like the beat was trash, and I just wanted to put the thing out that I wrote in jail, and I didn't know where to put it and this and that, and I didn't have money, so I heard about YouTube, so I was like, okay, I'll just put it on this YouTube, and then I started hearing about this, prison genre, and I get the interview. I didn't get one on Death's channel, but I got it on the Talk TV 813. So right
Big
away, all
channel.
the Florida people started fucking with me from day one, and just I think it was like 30 of them, 30 of his subs came over from day one, and that's how my shit started.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So we can talk about why I left like the YouTube streets at first.
Okay.
Uh
So why'd you leave the YouTube streets at first?
all right, so it's this one dude, I can't remember his name. Some PA dude though. But I had talked shit about him, thought he was talking shit about me type of shit, and he got my name or something. He put something out on his community post that made it known like I know who you are type shit. And I knew somebody like that, I talked to, gave it to him, but I just didn't know who. So my thing was I can't come up here and be, maybe talking with somebody that put me out. But like someone tried to say it was new age. It wasn't new age. It wasn't nobody that was ever on the YouTube streets like a host.
Okay.
He was a guest on there before, but
right.
So I just didn't know, who gave me up. Cause I'm like, just the whole way I found out about that was like, damn, I felt cross. And then on top of that, it's like smoke. So it was like a weird position to be in, bro. Especially from like YouTube, you know what I mean?
I hear you.
But sometimes in life, it ain't all about who the baddest and shit is, who the smartest,
Yeah.
But it's no hate towards nobody, just like me and everybody else. You live and you learn from shit, but
yeah, there's no point in going back and forth with people on here on YouTube. I won't do it.
That's why I start. Remember, I told you about the Allen video. That was like trying to be seen, and people like drama.
That's different. I'm talking about people that are actually serious, like actually screaming their heads off back and forth at each other.
Oh yeah.
Like, I won't do that, man. You know what I mean? If you want to come find me in real life and run the hands with me, that's one thing. But I'm not gonna go back and forth like that, man. You know what I mean? I ain't fucking PC yelling from cell to cell shit. I ain't doing it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But like,
yeah.
I've been like blunt with people that had problems with me in the past. So I go behind the scenes, talk to them, be like, if you can get here to TR and you want to run the hands, I'm down for it. You know what I mean? Just tell me where you are in the city and I'll be there. You know what I
But
mean?
bro,
I'm not
shit
gonna
don't
go and
never end at a
argue on
fight.
everybody.
Shit don't never end at a fight though. Not from where
Yeah,
I'm from.
I
And it
know.
ain't no fair
Yeah,
phase where I'm from.
I know. In the U.S., it's bad like that, man.
I'm sure it's like that, you know, with
It's getting bad
you.
like that in the city too, man. But when we grew
I'm
up,
sure where you from though, it's just the
when we
same
grew up,
thing.
they have a fist fight back in the day when we grew up, but not no more. You know, it ain't like that no more. In jail, they have no choice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In jail, you have no choice, man. You don't have a gun in there.
But
So
yeah, I'm sure
a lot of these
Toronto's
guys,
bad too.
a lot of these guys that are used to having a gun in the streets, they go into the jails and they can't protect themselves half the time because they're so used to having a gun. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. But like when I said that, like shit, I know in Toronto and shit, like where you from, it's same thing as here. It's bad parts everywhere in the world, even in the good cities.
Exactly. Yeah,
It's
it is. It's everywhere, and it keeps getting worse and worse. Where are you? You know, and it seems like they're younger and younger nowadays. You know what I mean? Like when we were growing up, when I was in grade 8, 9, you could actually go out and get into a fight, and maybe the guy might try to stab you or bottle you or something like that. But the dude wouldn't come back and like shoot you for losing a fight. You know what I mean? He might come try to stab you, but it was very rare where they come back and shoot you for losing a fight. Now, like if you shot someone's friend or something, that's different. They're gonna come shoot your friends. But I mean, like you could literally fist fight back in the day. Nowadays, it's like these young kids, they lose a fist fight, and like you said, they take it to heart and they go and shooting them the next time. Next time.
right.
Right.
And the shit's never really worth it, bro. Like you said,
No.
unless you're in my face, talking, you can say whatever online or because the real ones ain't gonna say what they're gonna do online.
Right. Exactly.
They're just gonna do it.
Exactly. And it's not even worth it, man. Like
Hell no.
the way I've been showing people on this channel, it's like to these younger ones, it's not worth it going and spending your whole life in there for to try to be cool or to try to prove that you're tough or to
To
try
other
to
guys.
to try
Yeah.
to like get into your set or do whatever it is that you guys are doing in your neighborhood. They're not going to be there for you in the end. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to be the ones sending you money when you're locked up for your whole life. Or it just seems like it's the same ongoing thing. It keeps happening, and on the newspapers here all the time. I walk by the thing to go get coffees every other day. You see something on the newspaper that's crazy with these young kids shooting.
Right. They
Yeah,
be them guns.
yeah. See, down there, you guys are allowed to protect yourselves. Here, only criminals have guns. Here, if you're law-abiding, you're not allowed to have them. Like
For
they don't
real?
want you protecting yourself here. Yeah,
Yeah.
only way you could get a gun here is like if you're like crook, you know. You can get shotguns and like rifles to like hunt and stuff, but like to actually like protect yourself here, they don't want you protecting yourself. They'd be like, "Oh, you should have called the police. You'd be dead.
Damn.
You'd be dead by the time that happens."
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's just
Shit happens
crazy
in a
the way
split
how
second.
different places are. Like that's one thing I do like about the U.S. How you guys can protect your own homes and stuff. That's one thing that I do agree with. Because here, it's like so if someone comes in with a freaking even if someone came in with a gun and I would protect myself with like a bat or something, they're still gonna give me trouble for it.
Damn. That's crazy.
Yeah, it
He
is,
said
bro.
only the
It
crooks got the guns.
is. Yeah, only crooks got the guns.
Bro, nowadays everybody got them. I seen a
Yeah,
dude walking in the mall and shit. And I usually carry mine, wherever I go, but I don't
you
need
got,
to
you got
really.
you down there, man. Oh, you don't need to down there. Well, it all depends where you're at. It depends how you're living, right? If you don't feel like you've done anything, it's karma, right? That's the way I look at it, man. If you
Right.
don't feel you've done anything, you just you know you don't deserve it. You shouldn't have to worry about it. See, like endlessly being a female, when she was in Vegas, she would tell me stuff like they got ARs in the home and this and that everywhere, and it's like, God damn, like, and if someone comes through that door, she's obligated. She's supposed to use this thing.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit, yo. Shit.
Yeah, I had to get an AR, kind of recent. Had to.
Yeah, it's to
But
protect
I
them,
don't go crazy
you
though.
know?
It was a couple of times in Camel when I was living with my dad that his house got raided because he's a felon. We had like gun safes each time, and you can look this up. Um, you can go to Camel, Ohio, gun house raid, and you'll see. But you know, some of them were mine too. But my dad being a felon, they told him if you let us keep everything in the safe, we'll drop everything. So if I were to get one of my pieces back, it would fuck his deal up. So
Okay.
chalked him up.
Yeah. Well, it's your pops, you know?
And my pop's crazy, man. My pop's got dope. Well, now lately, but
That's the first time I ever seen a guy with my dad, man. I think I was like maybe 10, and I was like snooping around in my dad's, and I was like looking above, like a tall mantle in the living room. It's like way above, so I'm like snooping around trying to find change and shit. And I reached my hand up there, and I was like, "Whoa," I was like, "Shit." And that was the first time I ever seen a gun. And then next time I looked there, it was gone, and I was like,
uh,
he knows I found it.
yeah, shit. My grandpa and my dad like gun fanatics. So I remember even when I was younger and seeing like they used to hunt and shit like that. So I would always see guns when I was
Yeah, I hear you.
young.
My grandfather had an old gun from the war. It was like a wooden handle with like a single thing that they click down and put one thing in it and click it back up that he actually had from the war and shit. It was his weapon. Shit was like old. It don't even have to be registered or nothing because it's so old. One of those,
Oh
one of
yeah,
those ones. Yeah. So those were cool. You know.
yeah. Them old ones, like you said, those ones are the exclusive ones though.
Yeah, those
For
are the
real.
So what do you think? What's your next step? What's your goals, bro? What do you got going on? What do you think you're gonna do next?
Well, I was trying to do this basketball shit. You know, I'm in a men's league, but before I went to Florida and now I kind of missed like a lot of games. So I don't know. I'm still waiting to hear back from them, but I'm trying to like record it and then edit it, you know, and make a video out of it rather than a live because I ain't really fucking with the lives, you know what I mean?
I hear
But
you.
besides that, when I move, probably do like sneakers, you know what I mean? Start really getting into that, but market's kind of coming down in that, but
What state you moving to?
I'm probably moving in Ohio still. Honestly, I want to move to Florida or like somewhere with the ocean, but I don't know. It's hard to leave Ohio when you got family here, you
I hear
know.
you. I don't know. I've never been out of Ontario where Toronto is, so I hear you, man. Born and raised here. One day I do want to leave, though. I do want
One day you gotta leave.
to.
Where would you go?
uh, probably I want to go to the U.S. once I'm allowed to. I've been out of shape since 2017, so I think it's 10 years or so without trouble.
What state would you go to though?
I'd want to see Florida for sure.
Florida. Florida's nice.
Yeah,
I
New
just got
York is
back
only like
last
a
week.
3 hour drive from here, so that would probably be the first thing to hit up. Closest things like Detroit and New York is like I know you can get there in like 3 hours, 3.5 hours to either one.
Damn, that ain't bad.
Yeah, not far. You know, definitely want to see what the U.S. is. And I do want to go to England one day, to Europe one day.
That'd be dope. I want to go to Paris.
There, yeah, they got some cool stuff like Netherlands and all that out there.
Yeah,
We got
that'd be dope.
rappers out there, bro, in Ireland and all these places in Europe. I never suspected it. It shows you in the algorithm little things like that, and it's like sometimes when I go live or do content, they don't get to see it because of the different times and everything. So
Right.
if we go live at like a normal 7 o'clock at night, it's like 7 in the morning or something, 6 in the morning. So it's hard. You know what I mean? So if I go live at like noon in the afternoon, sometimes I'll get them popping up. And they'll
Right.
be like, "Hey, it's your subscribers from Belfast. It's cool." You
What
know,
time is it there?
Right now it's 10 to 11. It's 10:50 p.m.
Okay.
We're on New York time right here. What are you guys?
Yeah, we 10:50.
Okay, yeah. So you're
I
on the
thought,
same
yeah,
time.
I thought it was different or some shit.
No, no, we run it on that same time. It's Vegas and the West Coast is different by 3 hours or so.
Yeah, that shit's real weird.
That was a trip when she was out there. I changed the clock on the stove to that time, and then I got my phone and the computer at my normal time.
Hell
I
yeah,
had to, bro. I had to, because or else I wouldn't know what the hell was going on. You know,
that's
living,
crazy.
living a double time life there, timeline. That was wild. Sleeping online, living online, basically, bro.
Right.
Now I'm only on here a few hours a day. At that point, it was like 20 hours a day. We would look at our phones and it would be like 20 something hours when we'd hang up. We'd be like, holy shit, this is crazy. Our eyes were both going like,
Hell
you know, yeah, but we had to do what we had to do.
yeah. So how long you and your girl been
This is going
talking
on
for?
8 months.
8 months. It flew by, huh?
Yeah, time's gone by quick. You know, it was 5 months online waiting for a passport. And then literally the passport got there. We got the flight the next day.
I know that ticket was a lot.
Yeah. So
He said the next day, shit, first class.
nah, not first class, but we got it the next day. We got lucky too. We got Flair Airline. Shout out to Flair Airline. It's not no like high class thing. It's like it was like there. It was the last minute. It was available. She said it wasn't that bad actually. It was though when she got here though, the Canadian government treated her like a damn criminal, bro. And she didn't do nothing wrong, live abiding citizen. She gets to the airport and they're like ripping the bags apart, asking her a million questions, like, well, where are you? Who are you here to see? Meanwhile I'm there waiting for her. Like, who are you here to see? The guy that's waiting for me, like right there trying to help with the bags, Not bad.
That's
She's
crazy.
crazy. Yeah. You would think that they would be more welcoming.
Right. They said they tore all the bags up. That's messed up.
Yeah, man. Anyway, so what do you got? I'm gonna give you one last one before we wrap it up. So, some advice for the youth.
Some advice for the youth. I tell them just be confident in yourself.
Okay,
It's nothing that you can't do, no matter what it is. You just got to be confident in yourself that you can do it and you can. And the sky's the limit, for real.
nice. All right, so that's gonna wrap it up for this interview with Redwin and Ruger. We'll probably have them on in the future for a part two.
For sure.
We're getting in touch, and we'll see you guys in the next one. See you in
Salute.
the next one, y'all.
All right, my brother.